I am really excited. This guest of mine is an author that was a standout author for me, I believe, last year with one of her novels. And then I requested her newest novel because if I read one of your books and I love it, I want to read the whole collection. So she is the author of many novels, including The Final Scene, Make No Mistake, The Last One Out, which is one that I picked up last year and thoroughly enjoyed. And then her newest novel, Don't Ask Why, came out in March. Please welcome Steph Nelson. Steph, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited and a little
Now,
nervous.
I have to ask first and foremost, how did you get into writing? And like, did you always want to be an author?
Okay, so no, I didn't always want to be an author. I it kind of came to books a little later in life. I read as a kid, but I was spent a lot of my life in a pretty religious upbringing, and like that was the culture. And so I wanted to be a mom.
Mm,
My big aspirations.
yeah.
And so that was kind of more my focus, being a mom and like serving the church. And it wasn't until like I would say, honestly, like COVID, that I was like,
Wow.
maybe I've always liked to write. I journaled a
Yeah.
ton, like books and books of journals. And I liked classes in school that where I had to write a lot of papers. And I kind of thought like maybe someday I'll write a book, but I didn't know what or when. And I pictured myself very old, like very, very old. And then COVID happened, and like a lot of people, I was bored. And so I thought, I might take a stab at that. Yeah, so I kind of like stumbled into it. And now that I'm here, it's only been a couple of years, and I'm just like, how did I not see this about myself? Like, it's
Mm,
a little annoying to look back at
yeah.
37 and then to just to be like, how did I not like, most authors like, oh yeah, I like I read and I wanted to be an author when I was a kid. It's like, what was I doing? Kind of. So I read
Yeah.
them in school, did AP English, I enjoyed those books, but they are not page turners, and
Mm-hmm.
I love lit fic, but it's not the same as genre fiction. And
Mm-hmm.
it never occurred to me like that I could do that. Because even when I started thinking, like, maybe I'll write a book, my first thought was, I need to go to Iowa Writers Workshop and get an MFA. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
if I can't do that, then I'm not going to be a writer, kind of like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. 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 First and foremost, did you always know when you started writing that you wanted to write thrillers? And how did that come to be, or how did you kind of figure that out?
Yes. Okay. So, no, I started out writing horror. I have two horror books.
That's even more like far out and like such a contradiction to some degree from like a religious background.
Well, I think it played into it because was in the process. I mean, it took probably 10 years to like deconstruct my faith thoroughly. And
Mm,
that was kind of at the end point of that was like, wow, now there's this whole world of darkness that I could never dip into. So it was kind of
mhm,
like playtime, to
mhm.
like watch all the horror movies and like read the horror novels. And I read a little bit of Stephen King, but I was more interested in like who's writing horror now, like what's happening now.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into like my first novel was a horror novel, and I got about halfway through it, writing it, and then I was like, I kind of think maybe I might want to publish this. I did. So then I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go write some short stories. And so I wrote two horror short stories, and they both got picked up for anthologies that were like pretty selective, and then went on to be Bram Stoker nominated anthologies. And
Oh
so
my gosh.
like it just felt like luck here and there. Like just honestly, it kind of felt like I don't know if it's because I waited so long and then it was just like everything just happened. But
Mhm.
yeah, so then I was like, oh, okay, I got my short stories for querying agents.
Yeah.
And I went back to finish and I finished my horror novel. But then I went to query and I was like, this fucking sucks. Hate it so much. Probably only did it for 5 minutes. Like I sent maybe four queries and was like, I'm not waiting around for somebody to decide that this book is good enough for people to read. So I just started then. Horror has a very like cool small press system. Like their community is really awesome. It has so that's kind of that was an option. So
Yeah.
I put I got my first novel picked up by a small press, and then the novella that I wrote shortly after the novel also picked up by a different small press.
So let's talk about your newest novel, Don't Ask Why. Can you give us a synopsis of the novel?
Yeah, it's hard to talk about because there are a few twists. But it's
Yeah.
basically four friends go to a little isolated island in the Florida Keys, and they're there because one of the women's husband has recently died, and it was like his kind of dying request that they go and take this trip, kind of like take her away, let her have some like a
Hmm.
breathe type of thing. But when they get there, things of course aren't as they should be, and they don't have there's no Wi-Fi, no cell, no service. Like there's only one dock, and the boat isn't coming back for like 4 days.
So I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. I think you do, for listeners, I think you do a really good job of pacing. It feels like there is enough suspense when I'm reading your books, but it doesn't move too quickly, and you balance the characters as well. And I think this one in particular, you have quite a few characters with quite a few different personalities and some new faces that join that are, I don't want to say difficult, but like there's a boyfriend in it who, and so I want to know, how did you plot and plan this? Are you a plotter and planner? And then were there any of the characters that came to you later than others?
Good questions. So I lately I've been calling myself I'm not a plotter. I'm a pantser.
Really?
I mean, I guess I am in that I know that what the twists are going to be, but it's just
Okay.
in my head. And I,
Okay.
I'm new to this. Like, I've only been writing for 3 years. So I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of like in the middle of figuring out still like what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I can make my process more efficient and I hope to over time. But as it stands, I rewrite a lot. So I
Okay.
could take a stab, doesn't work, go back. Take another stab,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work, go back. I do with that book, I knew like the certain kind of lily pads that I wanted to hit, like the
Mm.
different reveals, I guess. But I call myself a mood pantser, like a mood reader, but because it really depends on like how I feel that day. Like if and I don't mean like a moody, like, but it's like if I have it or not that day. It's kind of more what
Mm-hmm.
sit down and I'm like, I don't think I have it today. Then I'll work on
Mm.
marketing or other things. Yes, totally. I've done little like writing trips by myself where I'll go like Sun
Ooh.
Valley is near here where I'm at in Boise. It's like an hour and a half away. So I'd drive to Sun Valley and like work on my book for a weekend.
Mm.
But like my Key West was actually my first real solo trip where I was like, I'm going on vacation by myself. Like that feels different than
Yeah.
you're saying, like a little different than it's
Yeah.
like because I could do these writing trips or like work trips and it was like
Yeah.
help, but I don't feel like I'm by myself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was that was my first one where I was just kind of like, I'm gonna go on vacation by myself. And it was
Mm-hmm.
every day I had to be like, okay, now I need to leave the hotel room and go like find like, but it was so fun and so enlightening. And
Hmm.
I hope to have so many more of those in the
Yeah.
future.
Now, when do you feel the most like yourself?
Probably when I'm traveling, honestly. I Yeah, I just really love experiences. And that can be with friends or by myself. It can be, I just like getting out and doing and experiencing things. I just feel really alive when I'm doing that.
Hmm.
So I think
Hmm.
that probably would be because I think the version of me where I feel like is most myself is like curious and like kind of lit up, and it's like, and travel
Hmm.
allows that. It's like, what's this? What's that?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just so much going on. And so I love that
Hmm.
feeling.
Yeah. And especially as a writer now, like that offers so much opportunity for storytelling.
It's
What are some important lessons you feel like you've learned in your life or are still learning?
Who, I think the biggest, I would say maybe three. I think three. There's
Okay.
three that are the biggest ones, and I couldn't narrow them down probably. The first one would be to slow down because I talk fast, I think fast, I act fast, and
You write fast.
no, I mean, I could write faster. I wish I would write faster. But slow
Selfishly, I'm
down.
like 2 or 3 books a year. Why not?
Yeah, I know, right? Um, but it's beneficial, I'm finding in the last couple of years to like slow down, check in with myself, like take a breath. It's okay. Things don't have
Hmm.
to happen immediately. Number one. Number two would be self-compassion, like just really seeing myself as like kind of how I see the people I love, like
Hmm.
allowing that for myself, what I give to other people. Like one of my best friends, like she can do no wrong. She really, even when she's being ridiculous, I'm just like, dude, I'm here for it. It's fine. So it's like, why don't I
Yeah.
myself? And then
Hmm.
the other one I think would be having my own back, which I guess is related. And especially like I found that in publishing to like that people can be for me and excited for me. And in my personal life, people can love me and support me. But at the end of the day, I'm the only one that is going to be like standing up for myself and saying, no, this is what is right for me. Like,
There.
and a lot of my life, I think because of my background, I kind of abdicated that and let other people, other authorities or whatever, tell me what was best for
Hmm.
me. And I'm just finding like at every turn in relationships and publishing, it's like, that's great that you think, publisher, that I'm someone you would want to invest in, but I don't want what you have to offer, like that isn't for me. So yeah.
Well, Steph, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell people where they can find you and where they can get your books?
Yeah, so I'm most active on Instagram, at Steph Nelson Author. I'm also on TikTok at Steph Nelson Author. My books are on Amazon, predominantly. I think you can get them. I mean, they're in some bookstores, but I'm indie,
Hmm.
so a little more hit and miss. I think you can get them
Hmm.
at the library. Yeah.